Good morning and welcome back to the channel. This morning we are at a place we've been a couple times, done a couple videos from, certainly taken several pictures from over the years, just none during the spring, which is where we're at right now. We're at the Narrows Covered Bridge out here by Turkey Run State Park out in western Indiana. Got up, came over here this morning to take this image. It was supposed to be a clear morning, but our weatherman as usual is accurate. It's almost completely clouded over and not much of anything. So anyway, we're going to take a couple pictures here of the bridge, see what we can come up with, and then talk a little bit about something else that recently has been in the news quite a bit, and that's AI and its impact on photography in general moving forward. So stay tuned. I'll take a couple images and then we'll get back together here and we'll talk a little bit. So thanks for coming along. All right, so as usual, really nothing to speak of in the sky. Some clouds, but no color per se. We'll see how they turn out, how the clouds turn out here in this image, or in the images I've taken, as we get a chance to look at them. But as we've been taking these images, just to give you an idea, I'm using a circular polarizer 24 to 105, again the R5. Been shooting everything, F10, F11, and I've had, as the sun's coming up and the light's coming up, I've done shutter speeds at 30 seconds all the way down to about 3. All right, just to get a little different perspective, on what's, how things look. Now, finished taking a couple images here. All right, I'm probably gonna swing around, take a couple images back here behind me. All right, because I've never actually been able to do that, and see how it turns out. All right, now, anything I get this morning that's worth looking at, I'll put in right here. All right, so let's talk a little bit here. First of all, I'm sure you're wondering, if you've been here 2 or 3 times, why would you keep coming back? Well, you keep coming back, one, for a different time of year, and two, you never know what kind of light or what's going to happen. So I try to capture, similar images, but I try to capture them different times of year, different times of day, different types of light, just to see what they look like. Sometimes you might go to a spot 15 times, shoot a similar type composition, and then get the light you're looking for and get that spectacular image. This morning I don't see that happening, but sometimes you get lucky. This morning just wasn't one of them. Now, why would I come out here if it wasn't necessarily going to be the greatest conditions? My wife and I are camping here at Turkey Run State Park, so it's only, this is probably what, 10-minute ride from the campground. To get here. Now, I could have hiked to here and it'd taken a lot longer, but I drove here, just to save myself time to make sure I got here before the sun came up. Although, again, this morning it doesn't look like we're getting much of anything, but that's typically why you would do this stuff. Now, let's talk about artificial intelligence, AI, as it's talked about, and its impact, all right, on photography. And there's been a lot of things out there on this, all right, a lot of people throwing in their comments, all right, and I was kind of mixed on it. I've looked at some of the AI stuff as far as what it generates, and today, is it as good as you can capture with a camera? The answer is no, but it'll continue to get better. All right, and in our society, face it, people are after the simplest, easiest way to do things, and it's not easy to get up in the morning, at 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. and come out to catch a sunrise, especially if you have to drive, or hike or something like that. It's not easy, and we seem to be a society where we just want instant gratification. So AI offers an opportunity to generate that image that you really truly want, that you'd have to come here 15 times for, all right? But yet, may or never get it, but you can certainly get it with AI. All right, so I can see its benefits. All right, and a lot of people felt that it will damage the industry. Others feel that it won't. I was kind of mixed on it. I'm not going to kid you. I mean, there was for a point there for a while. I figured, what I see people doing. My generation loves to take images, but I don't see a lot of that in younger generations. They like using their cell phones and things like that. And with AI, you really don't even need a cell phone. So I thought maybe, this stuff would go away. All right, and just photography itself would just, the pleasure of getting out, like I try to do, would go away. Now, I felt like that for a long time. Now the other night, sitting at home, I was watching some YouTube videos, and I happened to stumble across a video of a girl from, I don't know, I'm going to say somewhere in Europe. I couldn't tell you which country. She did speak decent English, but she definitely wasn't from England or Ireland or Scotland. It wasn't an English-speaking nation. All right, and her name was Biscuit, of all things. All right, at least that's her name, or name of her channel. All right, and she was doing a review of Queen's performance at Live Aid. She had never seen it, and she reviewed, her channel's about reviewing music, and she wanted to, review that. So she was, showing that and reviewing it. And it was interesting. It's about 2/3 of the way through it, she stops the video and she says, "I'm jealous. I'm jealous of all the people that were there. I wish I could have been there. This was just spectacular." I wasn't at Live Aid, but I was able to watch it on TV because I'm from the generation, I was, I'm a child of the 80s. I was in 1985, I think, when that took place. I wasn't married yet. I was graduating from college, but still, I'm from that generation, and and before cell phones, before digital images and things like that. And here's somebody, I'm going to say she's probably in her mid-20s, saying that she was jealous and that she really wishes she was there. All right. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen with AI, all right? You can't create it yourself, and there's going to be that desire. You're going to see an image that, Ansel Adams created, or Thomas Magnuson created, or, if I may get lucky, maybe one that I created, and you're going to be inspired by that. So, I want to be able to go do that. So will it completely destroy the photography game, or change it? It'll change it, but it won't destroy it, because there's always going to be, in my opinion, that group. Now, maybe a smaller group than it is today, but it's going to say, I really want to go out and experience that for myself. I want to know what that's like. I want to be able to create that myself. So AI is certainly not going to cause our, the number of photographers in the world to grow. All right, I think it'll probably shrink, but it won't go away. Photography is here to stay. It's never going to go away. All right, even if AI becomes absolutely, so perfect that it's an absolute substitute, because you're going to want that experience. Even though, this morning isn't a great morning from a color standpoint, and the gnats and things like that aren't great, you still want to get out and experience this stuff, because it is a lot of fun to do, and it something that you can enjoy, something you can remember. All right, I'm going to throw an image in here right now. This image is an example of what I'm talking about. I took this image, all right, a couple years ago out in the Grand Teton National Park. All right, that image was taken at sunset, not sunrise. All right, and the color was spectacular. Now, just before I took that image, there was no color. All right, and I stuck around. I stayed there, even though it looked like it was going to be a terrible sunset. I stuck around. All right, and this is Schwalbacher Landing, by the way, which is a fantastic spot for sunrise. It's very popular. All right, but I got to take that image myself. I got to experience that. We sat there, my wife and I were there along with several other photographers, waiting for something possibly to happen, and then all of a sudden, boom, just like that. It looked like the sky was on fire, and you got the Tetons with snow on them right in the background. Just an instantaneous thing. Now, I think I could have done a better job of capturing that image, but I was there. I got to experience it, and I took that image. All right. I think ultimately people will still, an element of our society is going to want to do that because they're going to want those experiences themselves. So, share your comments, what you think. All right, down below. All right, I'd love to, see and hear what others think. All right, so I'm going to end the video here. I've rambled on long enough. Sorry for that. All right, but as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Get outside and enjoy life. Even though it's not the greatest of morning, it's still a great morning to be outside. All right, until we see you again, stay safe.